Every morning, she walked past the noise, the crowds, the chaos. But today, something stopped her, a melody so beautiful it felt like it was calling her name. In the cold, dim subway station, an old man sat with a violin, playing like his soul was on fire. No one cared, no one listened, but when she stepped closer, she discovered a secret that would change both their lives forever. Maya was tired, not physically, but in her heart. Every day felt the same. Wake up before the sun, rush through a crowded city, swipe her Metro card, stare blankly at strangers, and listen to the endless announcements echoing through the station. Stand clear of the closing doors. Next stop. Life had become nothing more than background noise. She worked as an assistant in a company where no one even remembered her name. She brought coffee, printed files, answered emails, and smiled politely. But inside, she felt invisible. Her dreams of becoming a singer had faded years ago, buried under responsibilities and bills. That morning was especially hard. Her mother had called, asking if she could send some money for rent. Her landlord had slipped another notice under her door. She had skipped breakfast just to save a few more dollars. One more day, she told herself. Just get through one more day. As she reached the bottom of the subway stairs, she expected the usual noise, shouting vendors, beeping turnstiles, distant arguments. But instead, she heard music, not just music, magic. A violin sang through the air, its sound trembling with emotion. It wasn't loud, but it was powerful. Like a whisper that somehow pierced through stone, Maya froze. Her body refused to move forward. For the first time in months, she felt something. She turned her head. There, sitting alone on an old wooden stool, was an elderly man. His hair was silver, his coat worn, his shoes barely holding together. His eyes were closed as he played, completely lost in his world. People brushed past him without a glance. Some even tossed annoyed looks, as if his music was an inconvenience. But to Maya it felt like hope. She slowly stepped closer, her heart tightening with every note. She didn't know why, but tears filled her eyes. Maybe it was the beauty of the melody. Maybe it was the loneliness she saw in him. Maybe it was because she saw herself in that music. Unnoticed, unheard, but still trying to exist. When he finished his song, no one clapped, no one stopped. The world kept moving, uncaring as always, except her. She hesitated, then softly whispered, "That was beautiful." The old man opened his eyes. They were tired but warm. He smiled gently and nodded. No words, just gratitude. Maya wanted to stay. She wanted to ask him who he was, why he played, how he learned. But her train arrived with a roaring breeze, and the crowd pushed her forward. As she boarded, she kept looking back. The doors closed. The music began again, and Maya knew. Something inside her had changed. All day at work, Maya couldn't stop thinking about the old man. His music replayed in her mind like a haunting echo. She found herself humming it unconsciously while typing. Her boss scolded her for being distracted. A coworker whispered that she looked pale, but she didn't care. Who was he? Why did his music feel like it was telling a story? A sad one, a forgotten one. The next morning, she rushed to the station early, hoping he'd be there again. He wasn't. The spot where he sat was empty. Only dust and footsteps remained. Maya's heart sank. She hadn't realized how much she was looking forward to hearing him again. She stood there longer than she should have, earning strange glances from passers-by, but she didn't move. She kept waiting. Minutes passed. Then there he was, slowly descending the stairs, violin case in hand, limping slightly. He walked with effort, as if every step was heavy. Maya watched him struggle to reach his spot. No one offered help. Some people even bumped into him without apology. Her chest tightened. He opened his case, placed a small cup beside it, and lifted his violin. But before he could play, someone shouted. A station guard approached, waving a hand. "Hey, you can't sit here today. Move along." The man paused, confused. I just... He muttered softly. "No excuses. Rules are rules. You're blocking foot traffic." Maya's fists clenched. Blocking traffic? He was just sitting quietly. Meanwhile, loud vendors blasted music. People shouted into phones. Teenagers ran around laughing. But he was the problem. The old man nodded silently and began to gather his things. His hands were trembling. The violin almost slipped. No one helped. No one even looked. Maya felt something burn inside her. Anger, sadness, helplessness. She wanted to speak up, to defend him. but her voice got stuck in her throat. The man slowly walked to a darker corner of the station and sat on the cold floor. No chair, no light, just shadows. He raised the violin again. This time, the music was different, softer, sadder, and Maya began to cry, not loudly, not visibly, just silent tears that slipped down as she stood among strangers who didn't even notice, because in that moment she wasn't just hearing his pain, she was hearing hers. Two invisible souls playing their part in a world too busy to care. This time, Maya didn't walk away. She stepped forward, heart pounding, hands shaking, and approached him. "Sir," she said softly. He paused mid-bow, looking up. She didn't know what to say. Words felt so small compared to what she felt, so instead, she sat down beside him, right there, on the cold floor, in her neatly pressed office clothes. She didn't care who stared. For a moment, the old man looked surprised. Then, he smiled. "Do you like music?" he asked gently, his voice rough from years of silence. "I love it," she whispered. "I used to sing, but life happened." He nodded knowingly, as if he understood without needing more explanation. He lifted his violin slightly. "Sing with me." Her eyes widened. I haven't sung in years." Then today, he said, "You begin again." She hesitated. People were watching now. Some paused. Some whispered. But the man began to play, and Maya opened her mouth. At first, her voice trembled, but the melody guided her, wrapping around her like a warm blanket. She closed her eyes and let go. All the pain, all the fear, all the loneliness, pouring it into her song. The station grew quiet. People stopped walking. Someone pulled out a phone to record. Others gathered, listening in awe. What began as a lonely echo turned into something powerful. Two strangers creating magic in a place where no one expected it. When the song ended, the station erupted in applause. Coins and bills filled the old man's cup. Some people wiped tears. Others smiled warmly. Maya laughed through her tears. The old man turned to her. "You have a gift," he said softly. "Don't let the world silence it." "Who are you?" she finally asked. He looked at the violin and then at the crowd. "Once," he said, "I played in grand halls, but I lost everything. My wife, my home, my purpose. This violin was all I had left." Maya's heart broke and healed at the same time. She gently took his hand. "You haven't lost your purpose," she whispered. "You just helped me find mine again." From that day on, Maya didn't rush past the music. She became the music. Every morning, she and the old man played together in the station, not for money, not for fame, but for souls who needed to feel seen. Kindness doesn't always speak. Sometimes it sings, sometimes it sits quietly beside someone and says, "You're not alone." The world is full of unnoticed hearts, waiting to be heard. Be the one who listens.